there's no way you could tell me not to get on my live, and then I'm be like, bye, I'm about to be the first one on your live. Like, that was so stupid. Oh, okay. I just love how different we are. Okay, so here we go. So, oh, my mom's here. Hi, Mom. I'm about to be talking about sex, so now I'm embarrassed again, but I'm not embarrassed because you know that I have sex. So, okay. So, all right. So what I was sharing was, when you commit to something and you say you're going to do something, don't be alarmed that the universe, God, is going to send you like a plate of, let's see how serious and committed you are, which means you're going to hit resistance, you're going to hit roadblocks, you're going to have to overcome challenges and obstacles to prove that you actually mean that you're going to do what you say you want to do. And it really just boils down to, don't just want things, you get to be committed to them. However, when you're committed, you actually, it's like parting of the Red Sea. So if you think of the parting of the Red Sea, it's like, how scary must have that moment been? However, it worked. Like, everything unfolded for it to work. And so I share that to say that I committed. I'm staffing a leadership program right now, and we get to create a 90-day goal. And I'm already about halfway into that. And I committed to writing this book that I've been talking about for 2+ years. Well, guess what the universe has served me up a big plate of? Practice what you preach. And the reason why I haven't been putting this book out is because, if I'm being honest, I haven't wanted to close the back door on going through my husband's phone, because even though I've been doing really, really good about it and not going through it, I knew that if I write this book, it was like a way of me saying, like, I'm going to have to really practice what I preach, and I'm not going to be able to have relapses or anything. And so I wasn't really willing to do that. So nonetheless, I was like, you know what? I'm committed to this. I get to serve people. That's selfish of me. And even if I'm like, I don't want to not close the back door, but even like, here's another lesson. Like, we're never going to be perfect. So you can't, like, you're never going to be ready. You're never going to be fully like polished to show up and serve other people. So I get to serve people, even if I'm 5 steps ahead of the women who are suffering the way I was, and I still am healing. I get to help them bridge that gap to where I'm at. And so I was like, I'm doing this book, and here goes the plate of, let's see how serious you are. So I say all that to say that I go to JLo and Oprah's thing, and I'm already having like these moments, and all these things are happening for me. And I go to their to the tour. If you haven't heard about it, it was like this phenomenal tour that Oprah had put together. And let me just tell you that what made me bring up this live was, yesterday I posted some of the highlights from the conference and the tour, and then I had my friend Ebony, well, then I posted, I'm like so flustered, I need to just take a deep breath, sorry. So then I posted a picture of a friend of mine's business with, it was like a video scan of like a bunch of different size booties in thongs, and it was like promoting her waist beads. And I posted it in my story, and my friend Ebony was like, LOL, you went from Oprah inspirational conference stuff to like booties. And I was like, ha ha ha. And it just landed on me like, oh my God, that's a topic to talk about. And so that's what sparked this live. And so what I want to share with you guys is that I'm embracing, because what you resist persists. And so here's where my sex life has perished. Here's where my trust with my husband has perished. Here's where I have these urges to go through his phone, because I have been on this roller coaster of body shaming myself. And you know, like, I'm still embracing and navigating that what you resist persists. And I know I'm all over the place, so I get to just get myself together. But what you resist persists. And what I've been resisting is my husband being on social media looking at women with their asses out, because then it makes me feel like he's not going to like mine. And because I've lost a lot of weight, I've lost a lot of my curves. And I'm like, when I met my husband, I was a lot thicker than I am now. And so I'm very self-conscious that I'm not his type anymore. And that anytime we're not having sex, the stories I make up is that it's because I'm not attracted to him. So that's like one little seed, number one. So I've been dealing with this for a long time. We go through these patches. We have great sex. It's amazing. Clearly, we have 5 kids. Like, I'm not unsatisfied, but I just know that there was like another level. Like, we could be more intimate with it. We could be more consistent. We could be more passionate. Like, there's just, I know that there's more to it. And I also know that that's probably what happens when you're with somebody for 15 plus years. It's like, duh, like there's got to be things to mix it up. And so I've just been like spiraling in this conversation for a long time, talking to friends about like, what do you do? Is it toys? Is it like, what do you do to like spice it up and do all these things? And how do I, like, talking to young people, like, how do I stay freaky? Like, just, I'm like in the conversation of just like, I don't want to lose. I don't want to like I feel like I'm constantly up against Instagram. And so when I go on Instagram, I'm in this spiral of, there goes another ass. Oh my God, hers is amazing. Oh, there's some beautiful boobs. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. Oh my God, she has no flaws. Oh, her this, she's that. And I just like suck myself dry of, I'm not enough and my body is not enough. I need my boobs done. I'm still probably getting my boobs done. So like that's the gift for me because I've breastfed 5 babies. That has nothing to do with anything. But like I actually have a really nice butt, and I used to have one of the bigger butts in general, but then manufactured booties came along and now I can't compete, and it took me out. And I literally just went into my head and was like, God, like I need a booty implant now. Like I literally got to that point. Like if I'm just being so honest, I have researched the fat transfer thing and then sat in my shit of like, I don't have an ounce of fat to move. I like, can someone please give me some fat? And I've thought about like, let me just start eating all the shit. I eat really clean because one, I get repercussions to eating bad. And two, I want to live a long life. And I know the power of the food that we put in our body, but I've thought of just eating like shit, eating whatever I want just to gain some weight so that I can get thicker again because I know the potential of my body. I know what my body looks like when I gain 10 pounds or whatever. And so all of this is what spirals through my mind on a daily, not just every now and then. This isn't like a toxic, and scientifically I'm addicted to this. I'm addicted to one, going through his phone, even though I haven't in a long time, but like I have addiction to that that adrenaline of like that gut feeling when you're like, oh, what am I going to find? And I'm addicted to tearing myself down, going on social media, looking at it. And I don't mean I'm addicted like I'm enjoying it. We actually have like, drugs and alcohol are not necessarily fun to the body, but they're still addicting. Addiction doesn't mean you're enjoying what you're addicted to. And so it's like this daily struggle of suffering. And so here's why I want to share this, because then I have this animosity where I'm like, these hoes, like if they don't put their asses up, and I'm like talking shit, like, why do they have to have their asses out? And blah, blah, and I'm like resenting them. Meanwhile, Jason's living a good life, enjoying the fat asses on Instagram, and the girls showing their asses are enjoying the validation and the attention and the likes and all of that stuff. And I'm in the middle perishing, and no one else is perishing. I mean, I have theories about both of them also perishing because I have theories. That's a whole nother life. But the reality is I'm the one perishing. I'm the one tearing myself down, dying inside, killing the intimacy in my relationship. And these people are just living their life. And so I go to this, okay, so let me just pause and share why I'm saying what you resist persists, because the reason why I shared the picture that triggered this live was, instead of resisting people who are showing their asses on Instagram, I'm going to celebrate them. So from now on, when I see a beautiful ass on Instagram, I'm just going to celebrate. I'm going to like it. I'm going to be like, yes, girl, yes, praise hands, fire, because like authentically, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, fudge, it's beautiful. I love it. Like, how can I knock my husband for liking it if I like it too? Like, I'm looking at it just as much like, damn, it's so nice. Like, beautiful, whatever. I want that workout. I want that surgery, whatever. And so I'm going to celebrate it because I don't get to be judgmental and judge whether they should or shouldn't, whether it's biblical, because I've gone through all of them. It's biblical not to put yourself out there. And there's another truth to that. There's a part of me that's like, I wish I could show my ass on Instagram, because if I did, I would blow up my algorithms too, because I have a really nice butt. And so if I showed it on Instagram, I would actually get, like, when I showed it, the like every little glimpse now and then, people go crazy. So I see the impact of showing my ass on Instagram. But I also just, that's not who I want to be. That's not what I want to be known for. That's not how, like, if I dig in, that's just because I want to get that instant validation and praise and attention and all of that. So it became this gripe in my marriage that it was almost like I was begging my husband to womanize me. Like because I used to go through his phone, so I would see that his guy group chat, they'd send each other pictures of women on Instagram. So congratulations to all the girls who have blessed my husband's eyes, and he has celebrated your ass or your titties or your beautiful face. Like, congratulations, because it has been killing me to resist that, and I'm embracing it because he's not really doing anything wrong. It's human nature to see beauty and to appreciate it. And so I'm still embracing that, and that's why I posted that video. And so when I got to Oprah's thing, like, I've been perishing with this, dealing with this for years, really. And she started talking about how in her career she got body shamed for her weight and for her, like, how she fluctuated and for being fat and all these things. And she was like, one day I just woke up and I said, how dare I not love my body, and how dare I not appreciate that this body woke up today and that this body is able to walk. And I just had this moment, number one, at Oprah's event, where I was like, yeah, Crystal, like this body has bared children. I have given birth to 5 children. This body is breastfeeding. This body walks. Like how, God forbid I can't walk one day. Do you think I'm gonna be wishing I had an Instagram ass, or do you think I'm gonna be wishing that I could just freaking walk? And God forbid I wasn't able to have children, or God forbid, like, I didn't have the body I have. I freaking have snapped the freak back, and I'm grateful for that. And I do not acknowledge that enough, and I don't praise that enough. I tear my body down on a daily basis, and I realize I've been eating like shit. I have not been working out, and subconsciously I'm not treating my body with respect because I'm not respecting my body. And so that was moment number one, that Oprah gave me this gift of, like, yes, you get to love your body. And I've learned this before in the work I've done. I've talked to my body and loved my body and told every ounce of my body, like, you ugly toes, I love you, because I hate my toes, but it's like, thank you, I have toes, so I have balance, and so that I can wear shoes, like, whatever, like, I hate my long lanky arms. I could hate so much about myself, and yet, like, what is that actually doing? Nothing. And so that was number one thing that I got from Oprah. And so what I realized was that what you appreciate grows, and what you have gratitude towards grows, and what you actually embrace dissolves. So the more that I'm embracing the fact that it's okay for me and my husband to celebrate beautiful women, the more it actually is not eating me up to think, like, I need to go through his phone to see if he's talking about women. Because what happens is, then I would go through his phone and I would see that they were looking at women, and then I would eat myself up, but I wouldn't tell him that I was going through his phone. So it was creating this wedge in between us, and it was creating this gap in our intimacy and our connection. Because then what would happen, here's the cycle that we were suffering in. He'd go to work, I'd be doing whatever I'm doing, I'd be living on Instagram, tearing myself down, not appreciating my body, not feeling loved, not feeling beautiful. And then he'd come home, I'd have an attitude because I would make up stories that he was looking and lusting over these women all day, which the truth is he was working all day. And then I would make up these stories that I'm not enough. So God forbid he doesn't grab my ass or be like, hey babe, like, you are, like, give me like this Instagram caption as if I'm like an Instagram person. Then I'm like, oh, see, he doesn't think I'm sexy. And then all of these factors kill the intimacy, they kill the energy, they kill the vibe, because even if I didn't even say anything, it was the energy, and it's what you're thinking in your head. And so it was like, by the time it was time to actually be intimate, there was no space for it. There was no connection. It was like, it was boiling down to doing it because we were married and we feel like we should do it, versus like we actually wanting. And now, don't get me wrong, every now and then we would just, like, the passion and the connection and the realness would take over and it would override the shit. But most of the time the shit would be getting in the way. And so basically, telling myself this story that I wasn't enough was just perishing me and killing me and tearing us apart. And so when Oprah said that, then I realized it. And I'm literally about to look at my notes for 1 second, because I am now in a tangent, and I, like, could talk for hours on this subject. And so I really, like, this is why I'm writing a book about this, but I really want to give you, like, the 3 things that Oprah and JLo gave to me that day, and what led to, like, the best sex ever. So basically, I want to give you guys an example. So maybe sex is not your thing that you're perishing with. And just for a moment, I want to bring this, like, analogy with something else. So picture, like, you're going to an event or something, and you get in your head because you're like, I hope I look good enough. I hope I'm wearing the right thing. I hope the people like me. Maybe you're going to be around people who you don't know, and you're in your head thinking, I hope I say the right thing. I hope people like my personality. I hope they accept me. And you're in your head thinking, like, what are they thinking about me? Are they judging me? You're automatically going to be judged, and you're going to take yourself out of being present, and you're going to be in your head. And those are the people who come off looking stuck up. Those are the people who look off like being mean, being reserved, being not interested, when really they're just in their head like, oh my God, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Maybe I won't say anything at all. Maybe then I'll be safe and they won't judge me. And it's like, if you're in your head, which is what I do, I'm in my head making up stories about not being enough and not being sexy and attractive enough, that I just take myself out of the fact that I'm actually goddamn sexy. And so, like, same thing is, you actually would probably not be judged and be really well receptive if you just be your authentic self, but instead you show up and you hide and you isolate and you go into your head, and then you're judged anyways. So what you resist, what you don't, if you live from a place of what I don't want my husband to look at other women, I don't want my husband to cheat on me, I don't want these people to judge me, I don't want them to think that I'm like not their type, you're going to create exactly what you're focused on, because what you focus on grows. What you resist persists. It keeps growing. But what you embrace, I'm just going to be myself, and I know that I'm not for everybody. Or you know what, I'm just going to be my skinny sexy self, and I'm going to own it, and he's going to love me. Because you know what else I realized, and this is one of the things that like helped me start to like release this like self comparison, is I can see a woman who's completely like thin and gorgeous and be like, dang, she's beautiful. And then I can see someone who's completely thick and curvy and be like, dang, she's beautiful. And they're equally beautiful. I can look at my 5 daughters and be like, oh my God, they're all equally beautiful. And that's how I know beauty doesn't come in one shape or size. It doesn't come in one color. It doesn't come in one anything. And so that helped me. But anyways, so Oprah talked about her weight and how she would fluctuate in her weight. And then she said, how dare I not like my body? And then she went into showing a picture of her when she was actually at that ideal weight. And she said, I was not in balance though. I was not being whole. I wasn't well. I wasn't taking care of myself. So same way as me, like even though I actually have recently started gaining weight, but I'm eating like crap, I'm not in balance. My brain is not well. So it doesn't matter. I could actually go and get a whole ass surgery, boobs, everything, and look like Kim Kardashian tomorrow, and still I will be perishing if I don't fix the inside and the mental stuff, right? And so that was what she reminded me. And then she has Julian Hugh, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, but she came on and she did this body like movement like intervention, and it was just so powerful. And she talked about how you're like everything comes from the body, and our like if we trap the stress in our body, like we ruin it for ourselves. And so it basically boiled down to me realizing that I get to love my body, and my body is my temple, and it's important. And so then JLo comes on, okay? And JLo, Oprah asked JLo, she was like, do you ever, as beautiful as you are, do you ever just look in the mirror and be like, gosh, I'm beautiful? And JLo actually hesitated. So meanwhile, we're all looking at her like this woman is like drop dead gorgeous perfection. And JLo's like, like, I just see tired, and I look in the mirror when I don't have all this makeup and stuff on. I just see tired, and I see this, and I see the flaws, and I see the teeth, and I see this and that. And she's like, but every now and then, okay, and like Oprah got it out of her that every now and then she admitted, yes, I feel beautiful. And yes, I know I'm sexy. And then another thing that Oprah said that I also resonate with, at the same time that I tear myself down, we also have this side of us that knows we're awesome, that knows we're smart, that knows we're beautiful, that knows we're all these things, and we're afraid to admit that. And that's what Oprah talked about and what JLo talked about. She talked about how when she started her career, what she actually realized she was afraid of was her power, and was people judging her like, who does she think she is? And so this was another reason why I celebrated that booty picture that triggered this video, was because it's like we could judge people and say, who do they think they are? But if they want to celebrate their booty and have their booties out, then that's what they get to do. And so it was like this twofold both sides of the brain sabotaging what's actually real. And what's actually real is I have an amazing husband, and I have an amazing potential for amazing sex, and I have an amazing body that works and that is very alive and well and very capable of satisfying my husband. But when I take myself out of my brain and out of my body, I don't allow the space for that experience. And so Oprah ended with a poem that I actually was going to read, but I didn't set it up, so that's not going to happen. But I posted it. It was actually what I posted right before the booty picture. And what I want to just end on is how it led to the amazing sex. It was like I finally just got honest, because I didn't want to be honest with my husband, because then it was like planting these seeds in his mind of like admitting that there's women more beautiful than me, or there's bodies out there more voluptuous than me. But it's like all of that is already facts. It's already facts. So if I keep resisting it, it's just going to get bigger. Instead, I just embraced it, and I had this heart to heart with my husband that night. And I just expressed to him everything I told you times 100 and more. And I told him the stories that I make up in my head, and the cycles that I live in, and the way that I tear myself down, and the way that I take myself out. And being open and honest and vulnerable just opened us up to be like so connected and so intimate and so vulnerable. And that night, it was like the best. Like we've had amazing sex in our life, and especially before we had kids, before we had to be quiet, before we had to worry if someone's going to walk in the room, before we had to be busy with all the things, and before we had a mind overwhelmed with all the responsibilities and things that we had. We really just were like rabbits, and like that was the bottom line. Money wasn't an issue, time wasn't an issue, space wasn't an issue, and we just did it all day, every day, wherever we wanted to, whenever. And so it was amazing. And this was even better than that. It was like 10 times that, because on top of all of those elements that made it amazing, it was like that plus, like we were back at that, plus we had this deep connection and this intimacy and this honesty and this vulnerability that we had never had before. And I'll just end by saying that I'm reading this book called Radical Honesty, which I would recommend you reading. And it scared the shit out of me, because that book recommends that you go and you have this intimate, honest conversation with your partner about all your secrets, and you let everything out on the table. And he basically says, like, at the end of it, you would think you would destroy things, you actually make them better. And I saw that firsthand by just laying myself out and giving all of my shit, all of the secrets and lies and true things that I make up in my head, and just putting it all on the table. It melted, like it was like removed like a mile deep of like a wedge between me and my husband. And it just opened up for us to just love ourselves, love each other, and to create trust and intimacy and vulnerability and honesty and truth. And so I'm going to just be honest, the way that this live was delivered in my mind is not how it came out, but I hope that you got something from it, because it literally changed my life. And if I can recap the ways of being and the things that made this moment possible, it was just to be honest and to be yourself, and to stop living in your mind of judgments and worrying about what people are thinking about you, and instead live in a place of truth and honesty. And if you have triggers and you have something that you're resisting, that is an opportunity to heal something inside you. That's why I've been so fucking triggered by Instagram and by women. I haven't always been like that. I used to never be like that. I would never even have these thoughts in my head. I never even compared myself to other women. I just was like, I know I'm fine, but I'm never going to admit that. And then it went from that to like completely thinking I wasn't anything. And it also reminds me of how, and like the other thing that I'll close on is the gratitude piece. Like when I met my husband, when I was in high school, college, I was a size 11. I was like the prototype that is being manufactured today. I was like small waist, like I didn't have boobs, but no one cared about boobs then, and I don't even think they care about them now. But like I was fine with no boobs. I had nice hips. I had thick thighs. I was it. And I said I was fat. And at a size 11, I was fat. I had cellulite. I would never dare to show the cellulite. I never wore shorts. When I met my husband, we would go on vacations and I would be like, oh, I don't wear shorts. Like, I don't do that. I'm too fat for that. And then I even gained more weight when I got with him, because I was eating like an NFL player 3 meals a day. And I gained more weight, and I was just like, ew, I'm fat, I'm disgusting, yada, yada, yada. And then I started having kids, I started eating healthier, I started working out, and I lost all the weight and I got skinny. And skinny used to be in and now thick is in. And I'm like, that's what you get because you didn't appreciate what you had and you don't appreciate stuff till it's gone. So it was just this lesson for me to just love my body where it's at and appreciate my body. And for all I know, I could love the curves right back onto myself that maybe God just took them away from me because I wasn't appreciating them. I don't know, whatever. Or maybe he just knew that I would be on Instagram like, eh, 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 like that. But I don't know. Anyways, this is the end of this. I want to just encourage you guys to please get out of your head. Life is happening right here. Like what's real is real. Whatever's in your head, it's usually bullshit. And it's just the stories that we make up. And if you don't know if it's real, be honest with the person that you feel like it is about, just so that you can get it out. Because just getting it out to my husband was enough for me to be like, you know what? If he doesn't appreciate this skinny body, like I'm going to appreciate it. And that was enough for me, but it was just getting over that like moment that I was resisting. So, all right, you're welcome, you guys. I was trying to read the comments, but I really get to go. And so I'm not going to really be able to, but yes, love you guys and you're welcome. And I am back. I am so excited for what has been actually being worked on while I was gone. And I love throwing up my heart with you guys. So thank you for receiving it. Bye.